Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill. Mr. Beckham hopefully will be joining us shortly. I told him just pick a freaking candle already and get it over with. But you guys know how that works, so we'll see if he ends up joining us. But there is a lot to cover this week, and a lot of the cases that we're talking about tonight are a little bit older, like decades older, but they're back in the news as of this week. So we are going to talk about it. One of them in particular, depending on when Beckham arrives, I will kind of leave until he gets here because I already know I'm going to go off on this person in not a good way. So I kind of need him here to balance things, if you will, and be a little bit more positive than I know I'm going to be. So you are forewarned. But anyway, before we jump into any of tonight's cases, if you guys missed it earlier this week, I did a book review of the Delphi case. So check that out if you missed that. Let's see what other housekeeping things. For those of you who might have missed it, there is a new video that I posted because Danny After Dark now has merch. You guys have been asking for a really long time, and finally, my apologies it took so long, but nonetheless, it is here. So check out that site if you guys have not already. The link is in the drop-down bar. And a huge shout out to Allison for all of her help with that. So thank you, Allison. So for those of you who are wondering, like Tony's first one in the chat, yes, the cats. The cats are, I don't know. They're on level 10 tonight. So I got Selena here. Who's else? Oh, Cosmo's under there too, which is very cute. So yeah, you'll see him. And the rest of the, like Tuca's right outside the door. So we'll see. So keep an eye out for them. And if they get a little rowdy, it is what it is. So let's see who's here before we jump into things. Hey, Tony, good to see you. Doe Like Beauty, hello, welcome. Allison, of course. James Watson. I know this is a bit different. But yeah, I was really vibing with this shirt tonight. So I knew it would probably get some comments, but I love it. I absolutely love this shirt. I'm not going to lie. So it is what it is. You'll just have to deal with it for an hour or so. And if you really can't take it, then see you next week, James. Hey, Kane, good to see you. K-Dog, welcome. Thank you, Allison. Thank you for the support. Hey, Capone, good to see you, hon. Looks like amazing. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. But let's see. All right. So I think we are good to get started. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Tetris. That's okay. That's the one I was thinking. And like, I just could not remember. Thank you. Yes, there we go. Tron. Did I see that movie? I think I saw that movie. I think I was forced to go see that movie, and I actually didn't mind it. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah, of course, now I'm like in my mind, like, did I do? Yes, I saw that movie. I saw that movie. Yes, very, very similar vibes. Hey, PJ, good to see you. Well, look at this. Oh, okay, now we got Tuka. We got Tuka. So, Tony, you are in for tonight with the cats. Both. I think I only saw the first one. Yeah, I definitely didn't see the second one. So, good to know that it's good. So, okay, y'all. Where do we jump into for tonight? There's just so many updates. All right. Let's go with, again, some of them I'm like, I really want Beckham's opinion on it. If he ever picks a candle scent and makes it, it is what it is. We're going to start tonight with Brian Kohberger. So the judge who is overseeing Brian Kohberger's trial has ruled that the death penalty will remain on the table as the case moves forward. I know that has been quite a bit of a discussion, and I will get into a little bit why that is, but it was officially ruled this week that it's on the table. So in June 2023, prosecutors announced that they intended to seek the death penalty against Kohberger, who was accused of fatally stabbing the 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. In September, lawyers for Kohberger tried to get capital punishment tossed out. Their argument was that Kohberger's life should not be on the line because, among other things, the death penalty would violate his constitutional rights as well as contemporary standards of decency. Judge Stephen Hippler ruled against all 12 of Kohberger's motions challenging various aspects of Idaho's capital punishment scheme. So defense attorneys also argued that capital punishment should be stricken in this case on the basis of the execution methods. So more specifically, what that means in Idaho. They cited the shortage of lethal injection drugs and argued that a firing squad, which executes, which they still do in Idaho, became legal in Idaho under, quote, cruel, unusual, end quote, terms. So they also argued that letting their client wait on death row without knowing, quote, how he will be executed, end quote, is itself an, quote, unconstitutional, end quote, form of torment. The judge disagreed, stating that both the firing squad and lethal injection have been found constitutional and are allowed in the state of Idaho. And Tuka's going crazy right now. So the trial is scheduled to begin as of now in August 2025. So what are you guys thinking about this? I found it very interesting, the defense's reasons for trying to get the death penalty removed from the table if he's found guilty. But the way that the defense also worded this, again, I just summed it up for you guys. I personally really got the kind of undertone that they think he's going to be found guilty. I got that opinion of it because just the way some of it was worded, I was saying if they really, really felt he is innocent here, he's not going to get found guilty because, we have, who knows what they have up their sleeve that we're going to find out at trial. I don't know. I didn't sense that. I didn't sense confidence from their reasons for wanting it removed. I understand that at the end of the day, they have to fight everything for their clients. I get that. It was just some vibes I got from it that I was like, I don't know. I think they think he could be found guilty. But that's just me. If you guys feel different, by all means, please let me know. I do think this is going to be an interesting case because there's very much a divide, and the divide is, oh my God, Tuka, he's funny. For an older fat cat, I have to say he has been like moving around tonight. Like, yeah, like you'd think he was a kitten again. It's like freaking hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I just really think there's a divide in people who think that he clearly is guilty and people thinking there's really not enough evidence that he shouldn't be found guilty. So I don't know. We'll see. But again, death penalty is on the table for Bryan Kohberger. So let me just check where you guys are in the chat, as well as give any wrenches that need to be given. I do have another side tab pulled up so that if there's anybody who is new here and doesn't have a wrench, then you can, get one in. It's good for posting anything that y'all want to chat about, especially if we are going on a topic where there's something that you guys want to share, then this is definitely the way to do so. All right, do like beauty. I want to make sure that you get one. Okay, cool. You should have one now, so you should be all set. So let's see. Is that a coffin-shaped thingy? It is a coffin-shaped. I got it at Home Goods. It was, of course, like during the Halloween section, like time, you can get like anything really cool. And what they were using it for there at the store I was at was to display like a bunch of candles. But I kind of thought I wanted to be a little different. I do have a candle in there because it does kind of match the vibes. But yeah, yes, it is a coffin-shaped. I don't know what the word is, but I know it's not thingy. So yeah, it's been there for a few months now, James. So sorry you're missing it. Let's see. They are something else tonight. Oh my God. He's just like, he's wild tonight. It's so funny. You know what it is? So I forget who I was talking to. No, it is not a bong cabinet. Thank you. Hey, Chris James, welcome. So I'm not a big fan of necessarily giving cats treats like every single night. I try to kind of keep it either once a week, or, if like one of them has to go to the vet, like that's their reward, obviously. But I do have it where, there's one night a week where they get the, any treat, like their favorite treats, which they all have different ones. So 6 different cats, 6 different favorite treats. Some like those churros, and so Friday night, a little earlier, was that night that they all got the treats they wanted and they liked. So I think they're like on level 10 because of that right now. So, which will make it interesting for you guys. So, as Tuka's already been doing. So anyway, enjoy the cats. My cats get greenies every night at 9 and lets me know if I'm sure if you're like, your cat lets you know. We have that too. We have the dental treat greenies and they like that. Yeah, that's a good brand too. So, okay, let's move on now from Bryan Kohberger. So the Menendez brothers. So again, this is one of the cases I mentioned where we're going back in time a little bit. And this is actually Renee, perfect timing. I literally have in my notes, shout out to Renee. So Renee let me know in real time when it was announced this week about Governor Gavin Newsom. And what that was is he was saying that he won't make a clemency decision on the murder convictions of Eric and Lyle Menendez until the newly elected Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hutchman reviews the case. Quote, the governor respects the role of the district attorney in ensuring justice is served and recognizes that voters have entrusted District Attorney-elect Hutchman to carry out this responsibility, end quote. Also, quote, the governor will defer to the DA-elect's review and analysis of the Menendez case prior to making any clemency decisions, end quote. So that was a statement from the governor's office on Monday. So I am not familiar with the newly elected Los Angeles County District Attorney. So if any of you guys in the chat are from California and you have a little bit of insight, by all means, please post it. Or if you know of the newly elected attorney, by all means, please leave that in the chat as well. What my feelings were on this is, from the get-go in regards to the speech announcement that was done. Was it last month? I think it was early October or end of September. I can't recall, but it was relatively recently because I remember it happened while I was at work and me and a coworker were like, oh my gosh, like the Menendez brothers could be set free. But I think it was was it the DA that made this? I'm totally blanking his name. But he basically, to me, kind of passed the buck on to the parole board, saying, we'll see if the parole board deems Lyle and Eric suitable for parole. So they could have given them parole right then and there, but it was no, we're just going to give them now the opportunity for parole, where before they did not even have that. So now that they have the opportunity for parole, to me, it just seems like, again, passing it to the next person and to the next person. I get it. Like, I see both sides, and I've talked to a lot of you guys we message about this case. And some of you, I'm not one to dox like conversations necessarily. Some of you feel they're exactly where they need to be. At the end of the day, they killed their parents. There was other avenues they could have taken, so on and so forth, which that is true. And then several of you are also from the mindset of, here's what they went through. A lot of that was suppressed at their trial. They've served their time. Their own families want them released. The family members of their deceased parents even want them released. So, which that is also true. So there's that on the other side. So it's a high profile case. So I think it's going to take a little bit more time than to necessarily just open the doors for them to be released. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I do not, under any circumstances, think that either one of them are a potential risk to society if they're let go. Not at all. Either one of them or both of them could move in on either side of where I live. I'd be fine. I would be fine. Wouldn't bat an eye. I'd feel totally safe. With that being said, there are other people that are trying to get parole, Scott Peterson, or a new trial, but no, they need to stay where they are. And that, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're going to be released or not? Or do you think it's just going to be passed on and they just might not get that chance? I don't know. What do you think? Or what do y'all know about the newly elected district attorney? I think that is very important too, because if there's any of you guys who are familiar with him, then you kind of know his track record in politics. So maybe you have a little bit more of an insight. Let's see. If Newsom had his way, there would be no prisons. Chris James says they paid the dues, let them out. Renee says much better than Gascon. California fired a lot of soft on crime officials this election all across the state. Okay, that's interesting. See, that's the stuff I don't know. So that is very helpful. So Renee, and you don't have to necessarily say, so if they fired a lot of soft on crime officials this election, then that really doesn't work in the Menendez brothers' favor, technically speaking. So let's see what James is saying. Yeah, I believe California is going to start cracking down on thefts again, like normal. Okay. K-Dog, they're going to move to Spawn Ranch. Out and start a new family. You know what, K-Dog? Stranger things have happened. And I have to say, I'm glad you brought that up. We have not heard a peep from Leslie. And I think that's incredibly smart on her part, because the fact that she got paroled and let out, I was not expecting that. And I think if there was ever a poster child for doing it the right way and getting out and just staying under the radar, as far as we know, staying out of trouble, that's the person to do it. But then again, my mind goes back to, okay, if they let Leslie out, why not let the Menendez brothers out? if we're going to kind of compare, but what do I know? I'm not from California. I'm not as up to date on y'all's laws with that as I am here, with Massachusetts ones. Elizabeth Houghton matched with Jiminy McWatts. You know what, Capone? I'm going to give that a star. That was pretty good. So, Renee, I doubt he will let them out. San Francisco lost the DA and the mayor. Okay. Yeah, Renee, I am with you on that. I'm with you. It's the more people it just seems like, again, they keep getting passed to other people. Like no one wants to make that decision. And I don't know. I think releasing Leslie to me was more of something that would be at risk to society, if you will. And I'm not saying that she's still a risk to society because I don't believe that she is. But if that's kind of where the parole board or governor might be thinking, then it's one of those, okay, think of who the crimes were against, how the crimes were committed. I think there's just so much to compare. But again, man versus woman. And that, although it shouldn't be treated differently, kind of does, unfortunately. Her supposedly having cash helps her keep a low profile. If she was broke, she'd have to do paid interviews. That is an excellent point too, James. She did have not only cash, but a very long-standing support network. So I think that definitely really helped her case. Tony coming in. But if society doesn't believe in rehabilitation, then we are in trouble. Oh God, Tony, you bring, that is one of those like arguments that, yeah, that's a tough one. Does our prison system really set prisoners up for rehabilitation? I think it might be different in each state in regards to how they handle it, or even within their state, depending on the jurisdiction and the area that the prisoners are in. But I think across the board, it's tough. I just don't think there's enough, I don't want to say resources, but time being spent for true rehabilitation, like what it really at its core is worth. I don't think there's that much of an investment as there should be. If that's what the US is putting forward, saying this is our system where we believe in rehabilitation and here's how we're then really go behind it and give it your all. I don't think that the US is giving their all in it. That's just my opinion though. K-Dog, I'll do paid interviews. If you want to do anything paid, apparently OnlyFans is the way to go, K-Dog. It might have to be interviews while showing your feet. Apparently that is where the moneymaker is, but I'd say go for it, hun. Reach for the stars. Primarily meant to keep the public safe. Rehabilitation is ancillary. Great point, Renee. James's humility is legendary. Oh gosh, isn't that the damn understatement of the year, Capone? He is a legend in his own mind. He really, just like Mr. Beckham, which, yeah, I'm convinced he's not going to join tonight. It's so funny how it's like, oh, we're going to talk about this and this and this. And then it's just like, start without me. And I mean that in the most like picking on him, but also being a good friend kind of way. I think I literally was just like, pick a damn candle and just get it over with. Rehabilitation should include labor building things that benefit the taxpayer. Free Karen Beckham. Capone, I'm going to give you another star for that. I really am. I want to give you one on the James's humility is legendary, but yeah, I don't know. I think you're probably going to get like 1 million stars tonight. I just feel you coming in hot tonight with the comments. You're on top of it. You're quick. You're ready to go. I think you're on a level 10 tonight, Capone. So I'm really excited to see what you bring to the table tonight in the chat. So we will see what happens with the Menendez brothers. That is one of those cases, again, where I feel like right now all eyes are on them, especially after the documentaries. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep you up to date here. So don't worry. You'll find out. Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. So, all right, let's save that one. Let's save the one I'm going to get really angry on. Let's kind of keep that to the end so that if I do start to get a little much, because this case really makes me mad, then you guys can be like, all right, I'm going to bounce now. See you next episode. And, we'll go from there type of thing. So let's move on to an update on Laken Riley. So this week, Jose Ibarra was found guilty for her murder. He was sentenced to life without parole. As we know, the defense and prosecution agreed to a bench trial in which the judge alone decides the facts of the case, the application of the law, and most importantly, decides if Jose would be found innocent or guilty. And then if found guilty, what his sentence would be. So I know last week Beckham did a big talk in regard to this case, and you guys, we talked about it in the chat as well during the show about how this case became a big focal point of the elections. So for the update that I have for tonight, we won't be getting into the political part of that. I think Beckham did a good job last week, and you guys as well in the chat, of discussing that and what that meant during the elections. But so what I will be getting at is more so the trial and the sentence. Hey, William Eddie, good to see you. I have heard so much. No, James, in all honesty, I butcher every single word and name that I talk about on this channel. Not because I want to, but because I just half the time I'm totally just mispronouncing. So who am I to judge? But I will say, James, to be fair, there are a lot of podcasts, true crime YouTube channels that are covering this case. And I have heard every variation of her name. And the way that I was okay, what is the correct announcement and pronunciation of her name, is to basically go to the trial, go to those who are boots on the ground at the courthouse, and in being able to be in the trial as it's happening and watch it or whatnot, or listen to the family. But yeah, I have heard her name pronounced a million different ways. So let's see, should not have been in the country in the first place, and now we have to support him. K-Dog, yes, let's get to that in a second. I'll get to that. Let's just kind of give the update on Jose Ibarra in regards to Laken's case. So as I mentioned, he was found guilty by a judge. So he was convicted on a total of 10 charges. That included murder, kidnapping with bodily injury, aggravated assault with intent to rape, and tampering with evidence. Judge Patrick Haggard reached the verdict after hearing evidence and testimony from dozens of experts and law enforcement officers. Laken's mother, Allison Phillips, said, quote, "This monster took away our chances to see Laken graduate from nursing school. He took away our ability to meet our future son-in-law. He destroyed our chances of meeting our grandchildren. And he took my best friend," end quote. Laken's roommate, Connolly Huth, told Judge Haggard she lost the joy of running and is afraid to resume it. Quote, "I no longer run every day. I cannot imagine running when I constantly am looking over my shoulder in public, wondering if I am next," end quote. For Christ's sakes. Nice of you to join us.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, Beckham?
I'm here.
Is that a Christmas tree in the back?
What are we doing tonight?
True crime? Whoa. Is that a Christmas tree in the back?
What are we doing here tonight? True crime? What? Hammer.
Beckham, it's not even Thanksgiving. Why do you have a Christmas tree up?
How do you know it's a Christmas tree? It could be something else.
No, it's really not.
It's not a Christmas tree.
We'll see. We'll
Could be
see.
something to do with art.
Oh God. If Shelly is
Hey,
visiting
do
and
you see
she's
that art
wrapped
right
in
here
nothing
behind
but
me?
glow
That's pretty
lights, I'm
good.
just saying.
You see that art right here behind me? It's pretty cool.
It's very dark, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's not a Christmas. Unfortunately, I do have a Frosty the Snowman in my chair.
Oh wow. This took a turn I wasn't expecting. And shout out to Shelly, by the way. If she see here, I'm thinking, oh, she probably was like, I'm gonna go surprise my man and just wrap myself in Christmas lights and have a good night.
Yeah.
Shelly's wearing lights, you kinky weirdos. Shelly's hot. Come on. Give the girl her due. Give credit where it's due. She
Actually,
is
it's just a
hot.
mannequin just sitting there and it's got lights over her.
If you own a mannequin, she needs to
I
dump
did
your
at
ass
one time
immediately.
have a mannequin for an art piece.
Shelly, run now. Run while you can. All right, so Beckham, I am just wrapping up Lake and Riley that Jose Ibarra was found guilty this week and sentenced to life without
Oh
parole.
yeah.
So when Jose's sentence was read, he was mostly seen looking down. And one of the critiques that I heard from so many people that were in the court was that news correspondents, he basically showed little emotion at all through the trial. Like he just wasn't bothered, wasn't phased while he was there. Which kind of I think says a lot in regards to his just how he cares about this, which is basically he doesn't. So it was interesting, the defense trying to explain their way of the touch transfer, the clothing, there were just so many aspects of this. But it was very interesting when the defense tried to shift the blame from Jose to Jose's brother, saying that his brother was actually the one responsible for the killing. And it's like, dude, you're going to go down swinging and take your brother with you when you committed it? Like, what the hell? Does not care about others. So, Beckham, did you hear about that verdict this week? If so, what were your thoughts on it or your thoughts on the trial?
It just went quick. To me, it just went pretty fast. They got a pretty quick decision. It was adamant the fact that he did it.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I mean, life sentence, right? Death penalty thing, was that off the table, Georgia?
Mm-hmm. So
Was it?
sentenced to life without parole.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
is he going to be protected in prison?
I don't know. I don't know. That's out of my expertise.
I heard something wild today. I don't know
About
if
this
it's true or
case?
not. Well, it's just relate. It's going to be in relation to gangs. So it's going to be like, it would be in relation to gangs, how everything works, because as you know, the gangs in prison are a big deal, right? I mean, that's what you do to just join. You have to join one of them to survive if you're not affiliated with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was some interesting news. I don't even know I can talk about it because I don't know if it's true or not. But it goes along the lines of the gangs and things like that, and these illegals that are coming over, who they're affiliated with, and that type of thing. So it's almost like a gang warfare within the gang realm. So my point is maybe he won't last very long when he goes there. That's my point.
I've been very outspoken how I feel about prison justice, and I'll just leave that comment there. So y'all in the chat have a few comments about this. I want to make sure that I get to that. Let's see. They gave this guy a humanitarian plane ride from New York City to Georgia, where he committed this crime. K-Dog agrees that was a quick trial. I'll reserve judgment until the test results come back. Let's see. James Watson, that Shelley's definitely out of Beckham's league.
Calm down, James.
I think I second that. Let's see. Shelley is playing the great alien, about to probe Beckham. For that, you need to go over on OnlyFans.
Hammer.
So James now actually giving something of substance. This asshole was a Venezuelan gang member. He knew he was going to end up with a bad ending eventually. I think he's happy to have 3 square meals a day for life, especially not in Venezuela. Chris James agrees. Venezuelan gangs are now in 16 US states.
Yeah, but that's a problem because now you're going into it's almost like, to James' comment, it's almost like you're gonna have these gangs here in America like team up and tag team these other gangs because and you're also, what I heard today was just crazy, but possibly rogue military law enforcement going on their own and taking out these MS-13 gang members and stuff like that. So it's going to be wild to see if stuff like that is indeed, but it doesn't make the news. That kind of stuff doesn't make news anyway. So, of course, you don't want local law enforcement or local police departments don't even want to talk on the issue. They'll bypass over it. But yeah, I'll be surprised if we don't read about him later that he was found somewhere thrown or in his cell or outside the cell or something.
We'll see. I mean, I'm sure, any little infraction or any harassment or violence against him, I think because of how high profile this case is, it will definitely make the news. And we'll be updating y'all. So they are breaking into pro athletes' homes. They say that Chicago gangs are ready to team up against the Venezuelans because they
for whatever reason.
Yeah. So like gang stuff is very out of my expertise. So
there's rules, Danny. There's rules, just like anything.
I know, but the difference between them, and I have nothing to add to that conversation because I just don't know, and I just don't want to speak about something that I don't know and get it wrong because that's just not cool. So, so Beckham, before you came on, so the new Danny After Dark mug.
That one is that glow in the dark?
No.
Oh.
It has me on the side, which is pretty freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. I need to. Yeah, I'm still gonna put the order myself in.
So, for those of you who don't know,
are you wearing a Tron shirt?
Huh?
Are you wearing like a Tron shirt?
Oh my God, we had a whole conversation about this shirt at the beginning of the show, and people thought
hammer
Tron. Someone said, who said Tetris? No, not Tetris. Yeah, Tetris.
You look like a roadmap for an alien.
Someone thought it was amazing. I love this shirt, and it's so comfy. But
is it like a Christmas sweater?
Huh?
Are you wearing that to a Christmas sweater party?
No. God, you suck. That's just so funny that you said Tron, because that was like the consensus in the chat earlier. So, Todd, hey, welcome. Just got home. Well, happy Friday to you. Danny from the block. Oh, shush it, K-Dog. Laughs that has Danny on the side. Stop it. Yeah,
it's
no,
it's a landing.
T-shirt,
a landing strip.
So, yeah, I just want Beckham to order the Beckham candles in bulk and keep them in the back so that he can be on time for the show, because that's the only candles he should be burning going forward. I'm just saying.
Hey, don't go outside in that shirt.
Why?
It's like a landing strip. You might confuse the pilot. He's trying to land.
Stop it. You're still off camera, by the way.
I know.
Okay. Renee says, Danny, you can rock anything. Thank you. Tony says, stunning. Thank you. Allison agrees. All right, James, it looks like a hairdresser's apron. Keep on expecting someone to walk in and start cutting your hair. I actually was at the hair salon earlier. That's why, she blow dried my hair straight. It's starting to curl back up again, though. But my God. You guys
Hammer.
are horrible. Hey, Rabbit, thank you for coming tonight. And I'm so sorry you were coming in at a time where everybody's being mean. I just want to say hello into your kitty cats and tell you you're pretty.
Hey,
Oh,
Danny,
thank you, Rabbit.
at least you're not velcroing your shoes.
Oh, shush it. We got Tuka in the back, Rabbit. So that's Tuka. Are Beckham's white frames for sale to sell? They are. No, that's not a bad idea.
I still have them. I don't know if I
Yeah,
could see out of them though. I don't know if I could see out of them anymore.
If y'all are Beckham fans, check out his stuff on the merch page. Again, link down below, and yeah, support him. Why the hell not?
Hammer.
I don't support him, but that doesn't mean y'all can't. So, all right, let's move on. Beckham, when you were deciding which candle to burn tonight, I just gave the announcement just so you're caught up in case you want to add any commentary about Governor Gavin Newsom basically saying he's not going to make a decision on the convictions of the Menendez brothers until the newly elected Los Angeles DA reviews the case. So, kind of passing the buck.
What would he have anything to do with anything?
Again, to me, it's just passing it on to somebody else.
He's just passing it on.
But Renee was saying, because obviously, she's from California, that she doesn't think they're going to get out.
I don't think so either. I'm starting to think that
will let them out.
Their only chance that they had to get out, the guy's gone.
Yeah, here it is. I doubt he will let them out. San Francisco lost the DA and mayor. She said also California fired a lot of soft on crime officials this election across the state.
Because, I won't get political, but.
No. James Watson, Gavin Newsom not making a decision on something. I'm shocked.
The only thing about Newsom is all that money that was supposed to set aside to fight homeless, get homeless in homes. No money is accounted for. Nobody has a new home. It's homeless is getting worse. But I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to say it.
All right. Todd says if it's true about the abuse, let them out. Okay. Yeah, I know we talked about
but
this.
Some family did came forward and they believe they still need to be. They believe they committed murder. Like some of their families said no, don't let them out.
And some said yes.
I know, I get it, but
yeah,
but they wouldn't just be released, right? It would be like a new trial.
No,
they
would be for parole. It's not a new trial. I think you're confusing it with Scott Peterson.
Oh, that's
right.
You're
trying to get Scott Peterson a new trial.
That's right.
The Menendez brothers will make you automatically up for parole. Basically.
Because I think politically it went too far left. Like Renee said, a lot of the elections, a lot of the people voted to get it back to the middle, to get harder on crime, because crime was just so rampant in California. Like, it's just so rampant, right? Mm-hmm. And they had the perfect opportunity for the guy that was there before, but now since the elections, like she said, they're getting rid of a lot of people for that easy policy, easy crime type of environment that they set. And I think that could be for that reasoning. I think that they're probably, I would be surprised if they're let out now, because that show's over. It was this storm of popularity, the Netflix show, the Milli Vanilli thing exploding everywhere. Music always brings everybody together, right? And they say that. So it was just a thing. They had an opportunity. They had the window opportunity there, and it's gone. It's gone now. The guy left. The crime was too rampant, too loose on crime. People voted to get it back to get it back to normal, and I think they're going to lose out on that window of opportunity that they had, if indeed they were abused, and if indeed all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I will be surprised now, looking back, if they're released.
I agree. I don't think they will be,
because they went all the way. I'm telling you, man, things went too far. Like, that's why people voted.
Mm-hmm. So just a few comments here. Renee says, yep, they're done. Todd says, JMO Beckham, difficult situation. Renee adds, he's related to Nancy Pelosi, go figure. And Jane, to be fair, Gavin did fix homelessness in 2 days for a week. You know what? I'm going to give you a star for that, James. That's pretty good.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Capone, you're losing steam. Capone came in on fire tonight. I was giving stars left and right for his comments. So quickly, just to update you on Brian Kohberger. So we went about this first when I started, but the judge has ruled that the death penalty will remain on the table for Brian Kohberger, the Idaho, who's accused of killing those 4 Idaho students on campus.
That's a crazy case.
Mm-hmm.
That because I went through did I tell you the other day I was doing some research and I went into a rabbit hole on that one a little bit about.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my God, there's so much there's so much that could possibly be, and again, I don't know what the defense is gonna have, what the defense is gonna do, but if you look into the backgrounds of the unfortunate deceased.
Oh, this rabbit hole,
yeah, man. They had
that.
their backgrounds, and I'm not talking about them themselves, but who
I
they're
know, but their
affiliated.
family.
Yeah, who they're affiliated with, or who they knew, whether it was close friends or family. I don't know, man. It's just, and then again, they got rid of the house, right? They tore. I mean, that's another thing that you could kind of try to make sense of that. If this is going to be when is the trial?
It is supposed to start.
Oh, it's not till next year, like far.
Yeah,
like
in
way
2025 in August.
Oh, that's a whole football. That's the whole nother. But in the next year, that's far.
Yeah.
That one's just going to be interesting because it's going to be interesting what the defense is going to do. Because some of that stuff, man, some of that case files that go along with in that rabbit hole are at the top of like certain government agencies because of the severity of the crimes. And I don't know, not those murders. I'm talking about other stuff. Yeah, so I don't know if they'll be able to pull that, be like, hey, we need to borrow this information. They don't work that way. You can't just say, hey, we need to borrow this information. You can't do that. But I don't know. I don't know. It was just wild. Of the little, I stopped myself from going too deep into it because I was just like, this is too much, man. This is like too much. So I'll let Danny After Dark handle it.
Jesus. Thanks. Todd says that guy is strange. Renee says that Kohberger can rot with Chad Daybell. So James Watson is setting you up.
Chad Daybell. He's back in the news?
No, but because Renee referenced Chad Daybell, James, I was like, wait a minute, all right. Yeah, I personally, this is one of those trials that I will be watching. Like, obviously, they happen during the day when I'm at work. I will get home and like that's what I'll be watching when I get home is to like catch up on this trial. Like that's one of them.
Why did the girl make eye contact with the killer? Let him leave, and she made him a cup of coffee. She's like, "Here,
Beckham.
I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'm gonna wait 16 hours to call the police." It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me.
Don't put out false information. So I didn't put this in my notes, but Renee is right. Lori Vallow is back in the news in regards to an Arizona judge ordered her to finish competency evaluation, her mental competency evaluation. So she was, let me just get the exact thing here.
Dude, they should just bring back the firing squad. That would be interesting.
In Idaho, they still have that. So if Brian Kohberger's found guilty and gets the death penalty, he would face a firing squad.
Capone, I think this thing goes into some deep drug dealing.
Capone, I feel like you've always been of that. There's a few of you in the chat who have always said like the roommates. There's something.
Yeah,
with the
there
roommates.
is. That's what I'm trying to say. There was a lot of drug dealing. It was a drug dealing. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's college campus. Everybody's got, whatever. But there
Yeah.
was some dangerous people involved. When you start, okay, there's a difference between being young and trying, experimenting with, drugs and being in college and drinking and partying, that thing. It's another thing to become involved in drug trafficking, because that's where the world changes. That's when the world gets dark. It goes from happy sunlight and rainbows. Hey, let's experiment
We're
and
not saying that
listen to some
anybody
music,
in the house was doing that.
and then you move into drug trafficking, and then that is when it becomes lethal and a dark world, and that's what Capone's talking about.
He might. We're not saying that anybody who lived in that house
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just saying
was
they're
engaged. The
affiliate.
way you set that up, it's like you're
Well,
implying.
no. I'm just saying, like they were. It's sometimes you have to. It's who you're. It's what's that saying? It's who you. Oh man, who you hang out with, or who you know, or is kind of a reflection of yourself.
Oh yeah, you are who you hang out with.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Which
go. That's
means
it.
I hang out with you. So what the hell does that mean?
It makes you more prominent.
Oh shit. Really? I was thinking it was like. Renee says, I'm not buying conspiracy. Todd thinks it's sex angle. Todd, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by sex angle? Because I don't follow that.
Was it like an OnlyFans thing going on here, like porn producing?
Can you connect the
drug
dots? It
connection?
becomes a portrait of Beckham. Oh my, hey Jack, I'll give you a star for that. You are the company you keep. Yep.
That's it. There you go.
Yep. Oh my God, look who I'm hanging out with. I know, James, you're hanging out with both me and Beckham. So what does that say about you? And you talked to Paul from the Paulcast. I don't know what that means, but yeah, maybe maybe rejection. That is okay. That is one of the theories that I have heard very early on in this case. Once they announced that,
Do they have text messages of him like saying, "Hey, you want a Snapchat"?
It was more of like, I believe he sent one of them an Instagram message, like DM, and the girl didn't respond. But to be fair, she might not have seen it, because if you're not friends with some people and they DM you on Instagram, it goes to like a junk thing.
One DM and not respond, that's nothing.
We'll see. Gorgeous top. Look at gorgeous top, Danny. Thank you.
Dude, I swear to God, if you turn off the lights in your room, you're gonna be like, we could see you.
I'm just gonna say I'm going for like a Tron vibe. I'm just gonna go with that. Who hasn't been rejected? I know. One of the things that I'm not looking forward to in this case, and it's gonna happen because it happens in every trial, is that the victims always get attacked. So they're going to be, the defense is really going to try to portray them in the worst light possible.
Whoa, time out.
Hmm?
He killed how many then for rejection?
4.
That's a lot. That's overkill. I don't believe it was rejection.
No one would sleep with him. He was rejected.
Killing 4 people for rejection.
No,
I don't know, man.
To me, it's one of the things that we've heard in the media so much, and it really makes me mad, is, oh, this was a party house. And I'm thinking,
it's got Cielo Drive vibes to me.
They're college kids.
No,
every house
I told
is a
you.
party house.
I told you
Every dorm is a party dorm.
I already said that. It separates itself. Danny, come on. It separates yourself with the company you keep, and when it becomes about either drug trafficking or anything of that nature, it completely changes it.
I'm not saying drugs. I'm just saying just drinking.
What, porn production?
This is not Cielo Drive.
I'm saying it gives me Cielo Drive vibes.
How house parties did you go to in college that the same people would host? That doesn't, they're 20, 21, 19, that's what kids do that age. So to me,
let me tell you something about a house party I was at one time. Some people let it, and I remember specifically, some people let some people in, and they started a brawl, dude. They started a brawl in the thing, and it went sideways pretty fast. Again, nobody knew who they were. Somebody let them in, and it just sometimes you don't know. We don't know who they knew, who they knew, what other things they were into. You got to do background looks into these kids, into these people's lives to really get an overall picture. Yes, you have to do that, right?
Hmm.
That's what I'm trying to tell you about a possible. Because I mean, you're going to kill 4 people for rejection. That does not add up to me. It just doesn't add up to me for being rejected. You're not going to kill 4 people in the manner that he did.
Yeah. Renee reminded us he has a history of heroin use. She thinks he could have gone on a frenzy. K-Dog, it's a college town. He could have get true, but then again, it was weird. James Watson, I'm gonna give you a star for that.
Again, if he went on a heroin and just went off on that's kind of a Cielo vibes type of thing.
I don't believe that there were drugs involved.
What if he was really stargazing? What if he's not even there?
This stupid stargazing defense. Well, I think that's a rabbit hole we could probably go down for the rest of the show, but we'll just leave it as is. The news this week.
You don't want to accept the rabbit. I'm not a rabbit hole. You don't want to accept the fact that he could have been stargazing.
No, there was no stars that night. It was cloudy. If you're gonna,
you don't know.
I always say, if you're gonna lie, just be better at it. Not that I want people to lie, but like, just be better.
What if the sky cleared in the moment where he was expecting it at the time that he was expecting? He was an avid stargazer.
Maybe you're an avid stargazer too, and that's why you were like 40 minutes late to the show. Same.
20.
No. It was well past 20. What's Capone saying here? Oh, for Christ's sakes, what's going on with this? All right. Why is my thing not letting me? Okay, here we go. It was the roommates. Did they hire? No, I don't believe that. Let's
Wait,
see.
was there issues with each other?
Nope, not that I
They were all best friends.
As far as I know. I'm not saying best friends with each other, but they all were friends.
They would have tied each other's shoes.
I don't know. We're going to move on because you're just being weird. So bottom line, he could face firing squad if he's found.
I just thought that was funny in essence, is the firing squad.
So let's move on to the next one. So Karen Reed. So she is back in the news this week. One is early as today, which shout out to Allison, because Allison messaged me and basically was like, hey, did you hear? And I didn't. So of course I went to read it right away. So again, shout out to Allison for making me aware of what broke today. And what broke today in the Karen Reed trial is a new motion filed in Norfolk Superior Court indicates that the Yannetti criminal defense law firm, shout out to Mr. Yannetti, has asked to add Robert Alessi, a partner at the New York-based firm DLA Piper, to join Karen Reed's group of legal representation. So the motion reads, quote, Reed has requested that Mr. Alessi be associated in as counsel of record. Alessi has specialized skill and knowledge in representing defendants in matters of this nature, end quote. Robert Alessi serves as the global vice chair of DLA Piper's energy sector, and he is admitted to practice law in the state of New York. So as we know, during the first trial for Karen Reed, she had 3 attorneys, and but of course, Jackson and Yannetti got like the most camera time on there because they were the ones that actually went up and would like cross-examine or directly examine their own witnesses. But this is now the second attorney that is going to be brought on to join them for the retrial. So I think that's very interesting. And I don't know, Beckham, what are you feeling about this?
They are gearing up for war
Mm.
because the defense. I mean, I'm sorry, the prosecution has that other dude,
Yeah,
All
Hank
Star.
Brennan.
Yep, Brendan. Yep. And
Yeah.
this kind of makes me a little nervous for Reed because they feel they well, maybe they just brought somebody else just to kind of, new air in the room, a new outlook on, because you do have to, if you're going to bring somebody in, that type of thing. But maybe have somebody to look at everything again, new fresh eyes, fresh air type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of maybe some sort of security to their team, because of what the prosecution did.
Yeah.
Prosecution has an all-star on their team. They need it. They need it though. And is it going to help? We don't know. Probably, we don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If
that's what I think. What about you?
I think I want, like, you make a good point. Like, why is the defense bringing on another person? Do they think they need it? But also, I think it's one of those, like, could it be, the prosecutors think, oh, we're going to win this. We're going to add Hank Brennan. And the defense is thinking, F you, we're going to bring on another person who knows what the hell they're doing. And
Yeah,
just
it's
like
just security.
all of these smart minds to try to get at every aspect the prosecution
Yep.
can bring. This is going to be a wild trial.
Sam.
Sam Smith.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
That's exactly the look I went for tonight. You were spot on. Spot on. It has nothing to do with the fact that everybody here has said that this is what it looks like.
Hey, but yeah, I think it's like a security thing. Prosecution has their all-star. I just think they brought in somebody for security, feeling, fresh air, new eyes, just, hey, are we missing anything? We sure we
Mhm.
got everything, that type of thing.
Chris James, yes, Tuca is alive. I can hear him snoring behind me. I don't think it's being picked up on the mic though. And no, you missed him earlier. If you go back to the beginning of the show, he was just like wild. He was running wild, scratching that. I think he's come down from his Friday night little cat treats,
But Sam, why would Danny be an extra? I think she would be like a star in the movie with that shirt.
That's exactly right, Beckham. I ain't no extra. I am the star of the damn show. I am the star of the show. So, K-Dog, will Proctor have to testify? Beckham, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to.
No, he got let go.
Oh, that's right.
He took the fall for this. And I mean, rightly so. No, they're not going to bring him on. And it's already been stated he will not testify. But then again, everybody else connected to this case, like Bukaki and is it Adam? Not Adam, Tally. He's in trouble now too. It's like everybody who touched this case is in trouble. So I don't know how the hell the prosecution thinks they're going to like talk about this. And all the defense has to be like, where's Proctor? Where's your lead investigator? Oh, he fucked up this case. Yeah, here we go. Like,
I'm looking forward to this one because I want to see how they're going to divert away from that dude and how they're going to bring it back. He's a major pothole in the road for them, dude.
mm-hmm. K-Dog says, can any
Real.
testimony from the first trial be admitted? From what we've heard, they're going to be looking at it in a different light, if you will, and bring in different experts to talk about it. But there's no new evidence. So again, the evidence from the scene that they put in the red Solo cups and the Stop and Shop bags, it's like all this cross contamination. It's like there's no new evidence. So I don't know. I am shocked it's gone this far. I am shocked. And taxpayer money here. Yeah, it is what it is. But that is not the only reason Karen Reed was in the news this week. On a little bit of a different note. So it was on Boston.com earlier this week where I saw it, which amazing site. Love that site. Karen Reed sold her home in Mansfield, Massachusetts for $810,000. She was originally asking for $849,000. The property was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. A married couple ended up purchasing the home, according to a November 13th deed filed online. And get this, and Beckham, I really want to hear your comment about this. So according to the Vanity Fair article last month that Karen Reed was in, so Karen, okay, again, the second trial hasn't started. So there's going to be costs with that. But as of now, and as of that article, Karen still owes her lawyers more than $5 million in deferred fees. She is living off of what's left of her 401k after losing her jobs at Fidelity Investments in Bentley University. $5 million.
This is what I would do if I was them. Let's make it a show.
It was.
Well, I know, but even more so this time. Make whatever it's going to take, make it a show, keep the people's interest. We got to get book deals and movie deals or whatever, a Lifetime movie deal out of this, Netflix out of this, whatever out of this, so that everybody can get paid. And if it goes the way I think it's going to go, because if the prosecution loses again with Brennan on their team, it doesn't matter. You know, Brennan got paid. He's kind of retired anyway, right? He's already done his. Does he really care? I mean, how competitive? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a competitive guy, but how at this stage in his career, what does he have left to prove? Yet, if they lose, who are they going to blame it on? They already have a fall guy. Well, they got rid of the fall guy, but they have another agency, another failed agency to blame it all on. Okay, so it doesn't. It's to them losing this will not really be a you know what I mean, like a mark on their records as a big loss or anything like that. So I just don't think they're going to do because they feel they have the duty to as a prosecution, right? And of course they might see the evidence differently, right? And that's why they're pursuing it, which is fine. But on the Reed side, hey man, make it a show, make it a spectacle, get paid. They're gonna get paid, and they'll get paid off. That's what they're shooting for. Dress her up, get some credit lines established with Victoria's Secret, get wherever you can to get these. I mean, whatever. Get some credit lines out there. If she doesn't have enough cash flow, right? And dress her up, make the team look good, and make it a show, and then get the accolades after if they win the case. Get the book deals, get the Netflix show. Look what the Netflix show did for the brothers. Look what that did. Okay.
Oh, there will be money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
100%.
Trust me. If they win, she wins again, and they make it a more of a show this time around. Everybody looks good. Everybody dressed to the T. You know, man, they'll get paid. They're gonna get paid. That $5 million balance will be nothing.
Right. I don't see how she could be found guilty. There's so much reasonable doubt. With that being said, in my mind, I'm like, let's say she needs to be acquitted. Let's just call it like it is. But let's say she's not acquitted and there's another hung jury. Will the state go a third time? That would be crazy. I'm just saying.
Hey, man, look, James Watson's you got the line of credit with James Watson.
Capone's, yeah, that was Susan Atkins' deal. She paid her lawyers with the media rights. Yeah, this is, I can see 12 people saying not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I could also see 12 people not agreeing in being a hung jury. I certainly can't fathom 12 people saying, yep, guilty. Like that, beyond a reasonable doubt. I can't see that. Anna is hot. Who's Anna?
Hey man, I'm telling you, they gotta make the team look good. Make the team look good. Make your Janetti, what's his name? What's the guy you like?
David Yannetti.
Put him in like the best suits, man, colors. Where you're gonna be the springtime is gonna come on. I would hire. I literally would hire somebody to come in and be a consultant for for everybody to dress up, to dress the right way, wear the right stuff. You got the spring season coming in, the right tones, the right colors, and all that kind of stuff, and make it a show. Be good, be good, be straight, look good, feel good, and get paid. That's what I would tell them to do. And I think they're going to do it.
Well, I look forward to seeing how this plays out. I'm going to be taking the day off work and going to stand outside the courthouse like I did before, because I like to see for myself. And Beckham, that would be great if you came to visit and Liz went with me that day. Like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. Okay, let me, so people aren't offended by that and they see what I mean. It was cool to see, because we have seen on the news what the outside was like. And I was like, I want to see that for myself. I want to see the Free Karen Read movement. I want to see the media and X, Y, and Z. And I got to see it all and talk to everybody. It was good. It was really, really good. Yeah, Allison. Oh my God, totally. I just happened to pick a day where it was downpouring the whole day, and that sucks. But nonetheless, I went. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that. So she might have another person on her team now, Karen Read. So I think there's just one more. Yep, just one more case. All right, Beckham, I was purposely saving this to the end. I'm going to update what happens. I'm going to let you speak and give your thoughts on it.
Oh, God. Hammer.
And then I'm going to go off, because this makes me so mad in so many ways. Susan Smith. Susan Smith was back in the news this week. If anybody's not familiar with her case, I will give like the briefest of recaps, but also I covered that on an episode way back. So go back and check that out again, the case Susan Smith. So she was up for her parole hearing. This is the first time since she got sentenced and put in jail that she was finally up for parole. She was denied. So the 7-member South Carolina Board of Parolees immediately voted to deny her request. However, she's now going to be able to apply every 2 years for parole. So while in prison, Susan has faced a variety of disciplinary actions, including 2 separate sexual encounters with corrections officers, incidents of self-harm, and possession of marijuana. Most recently, the infraction she got was for giving contact information for family and her ex-husband to a documentary producer. Susan does not take any accountability. She blamed the documentary producer, saying, quote, "I trusted the wrong person," end quote. Again, she is also putting aside the fact that she asked the producer for cash and other compensation for her story, which she was not allowed to do. Susan also claimed that her convictions for misconduct behind bars, they're not her fault. She said, in regards to the crime of committing murder against her 2 sons, she says she lost touch with reality when she killed Alex and Michael. Quote, "I am a Christian and I know that God has forgiven me." In that she's begging the panel to, quote, show the same kind of mercy, end quote. She cried and said, "I want to say how very sorry I am." She says, quote, "I know what I did was horrible, and I would give anything I could go back to and change it. I love Michael and Alex with all my heart," end quote. Susan's attorney, Tommy Thomas, yes, Tommy Thomas, said she is involved with mentoring other inmates and even was working towards an associate's degree in Christian counseling. that she's making something out of herself. And if she were released, she would move in with her brother. Attorney Thomas also told the board that the prosecution has been wrong about the whole motive for the murder of her two sons. The attorney is saying, quote, "This is a mental health story. This was not about another man. She was mentally ill," end quote. The only other people who were present there to support her were her pastor and his wife. That is it. Several people showed up to oppose Susan's release. That included David, who's her ex-husband, the father of the two boys that Susan murdered. So prosecutor Tommy Pope said, quote, "She should not be released until every living person who remembers Michael and Alex is dead, and that won't happen in her lifetime," end quote. David addressed the board and noted that 30 years, because that's how long she's been behind bars now, it's been 30 years. 30 years was not a long enough punishment. Quote, "That's only 15 years per child, her own children. That's just not enough. I'm asking that you deny her parole today and hopefully in the future." He says, quote, "I will be here every 2 years going forward to ensure that their death doesn't go in vain," end quote. Just to wrap it up, David's current wife, Tiffany Smith, also begged the parole board to keep Susan behind bars, stating that the emotional pain still hits David so hard that sometimes he can't get out of bed. She says, quote, "Michael and Alex didn't get a chance at life. They were forced the death penalty," end quote. So Susan will now be able to reapply for parole in November 2026. Okay. I know I just threw a lot of information at you guys. Beckham, what are you thinking on this?
Mine's quick and simple. God forgives, society doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
She's to remain there for the rest of her life. I know she said she's Christian now. That I can't, I'm not gonna denounce anything like about that.
Mm-hmm.
But on this other side of the wall, nobody's gonna give you an inch. Good luck.
Well said. Let's see. Capone says, "Remember when they parodied the Susan Smith story with Butter's mom on South Park?" I was never into South Park, so I don't remember that. That's Tommy Thomas, attorney Tommy Thomas. Yeah, that's judge. Yeah, that's pretty bad. James says, "I'm sure she was mentally ill, still stay in jail forever, bitch."
You might have a longer response. Mine was just quick to the point.
Yeah. So this was online. It was by video. Her parole hearing was by video. Like, she was on video, so you can hear her, you can see her. Look it up for yourself. For me, I was so angry. I was so angry with, like, listening to her, because she was, again, no accountability. No accountability. Like, saying, I was talking about it with a coworker. So for her to say, like, where's the quote? Where's the quote? "I know what I did was horrible." Horrible? Me going to Starbucks every day is horrible. You murdered your kids and you watched them drown for 6 minutes. 6 minutes. If you sit there and just hit a timer, that's a long time. That's a long time to just sit there and let it happen. And her saying, "God forgave you." Okay, if that's what helps you sleep better at night, all right. But to beg the panel to show her mercy, what mercy did you give to David and David's the husband, to Alex and Michael? You gave them none. And now we as a society, you as, in the pro board, we should now give that to you. No, bitch, that's not how it works. In regards to, "I would give anything to change it. I love them with all my heart." Well, you didn't when the guy you were having an affair with didn't want kids, and then you get rid of your kids. So were your kids all your heart? No, they really weren't. Where am I? Because I'm not done. Her attorney Thomas saying that it was wrong. This was never about another man. This was always about, like, part of when you're up for parole, you can't just like and we talk about this in the Manson case. They kind of have to go along with the narrative that was there, and this was because of another guy. So to sit there and be like, that's not why she did it. No, that is why she did it. So just, again, not taking accountability. And this whole, like, oh, she was mentally ill. She was pretty spot on in regards to all the interviews she did after, lying to police, lying to David, like knowing where they were the whole time, blaming other people, again, blaming somebody, saying, oh, an African-American man stole my car. Okay, so now you're putting unnecessary focus on a community that's already under so much target, especially at that time. You're just like, no, you know what you're doing. So I don't buy any of this.
She's always seeming very calculated for everything. She seems calculated.
Yeah.
And for that, this throws away the whole mental thing to me. It's sometimes, man, just who she is and what she did, what she does. Like I said, good for her if the whole Christian thing works out for her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
May work for her on that side. On this side, ain't gonna give her nothing. Zero. Yeah.
I know a few weeks ago, it was said that she reached out to David, her ex-husband, basically, oh, come support me so I can get out. And he did an interview and said, absolutely not. Like, the nerve, you killed his 2 sons.
Again, that seems calculated to me. Again, trying to, she probably used some sort of, she was probably thinking in her own twisted mind that, hey, I know how to talk to him. I mean, she had a relationship with him, right, for however many years. She figured maybe she could sway him somehow in her own mind.
Years.
Yeah, in her own mind, she probably thought.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. In her own mind, she, again, but for me, she calculated it that way. The fact that she even tried, to me, says it's calculated. She thought about it. She's like, maybe in her own twisted little mind, she thought she could sway him somehow with her own little, thinking that what they had at one time. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying? So yeah. So
her mind, I'm sure she loses no sleep at night. I really feel like she loses no sleep. Let's see. K-Dog saying when it happened, she was crying with no tears. The hanging judges in session. Sam, you have no it. Yeah, when I get like on a rant about, I can get pretty, someone brought up that the point about Lake and Raleigh, she fought for her life for 18 minutes. They said it, take a timer out and sit there for 18. Yeah, that's another example. I mean, but for a mother to sit there and for 6 minutes watch that, like, I don't want to get into it because I covered the case. Go listen to it, check it out. But it's just she still to this day doesn't take accountability. And to me, that's very clear. I think she is very self-centered, very narcissistic, very all about her in regards to, she had several separate sexual encounters with correctional officers. That just destroyed those guys' careers. I mean, it takes 2, and I get that. So they were willing participants, but again, she doesn't care. She just is for her own personal gain. The giving out contact information for her family and ex-husband, to give their information out to a documentary producer, and instead, when she wasn't supposed to do that, and instead of going to the parole board and saying, I messed up, I just really wanted my story, there were so many ways she could have spun that. Again, if you're going to lie, put some effort and be better. No, instead she says, I trusted the wrong person. What? Like, I can't. Let me just make sure I got through everything I wanted to. I'm actually a little calmer than I thought I was going to be. I'm not going to lie.
I think I bring that calmness out in you.
You bring the opposite of calm in me. Why do you think Auntie Deb says that I'm so mean to you?
You're actually
You're
nice
taking me
tonight.
to
You're actually nice
Beckham.
tonight. I don't know. You're nice tonight.
You know what? It's because
I need to go get some
I'm in the
lottery tickets
Tron
tonight.
zone.
I,
I'm
I
in
need
the
to go.
Tron zone.
That's it. Maybe that's what it was. It's what you wear. I'm telling you. You look good. You feel good. Everything around you becomes good.
Well. Let's see. So was it only 6 minutes? There was an air pocket in vehicles underwater. Maybe they suffered longer. Like it took 6 minutes in regards to the car to submerge. Let me rephrase that. There was 6 minutes. That was 360 seconds that she could have said, "Oh my God," and run back to that car or called police or something. No. Nope. I think Mary Jo was bobbing for apples when Ted crashed. Oh, jeez. So anyway, I'm glad she was denied. I think that again, she just doesn't take accountability. So I don't think I wouldn't want her on the streets personally. But now she's going to be eligible every 2 years, which I feel so bad for David to have to relive this every 2 years for family who love and support those two beautiful kids who are no longer with us to come every 2 years and have to redo this. I feel so bad, but that's where it is. And David did say, he said a couple of things after to the media, and he did say, I will be there every 2 years. So look at James. Give him a for fuck's sakes, Danny. Oh God. So yeah, that's what we got for tonight. Anything else, Beckham, that you wanted to add?
Diddy's moving along.
Oh, I was talking about that with my hairdresser. I
Dude,
love
he's got
her.
like
She is
new. Yeah.
not into true crime at all. Like you could say a big name offender, like one of the OGs, like in regards to like serial killer stuff. She has no idea. But I was like, you know about Puff Daddy, don't you? So then we had a whole talk about that.
What does she
But
think about him?
huh?
What does she think about it?
It's just the amount of people that keep coming forward.
Mm.
And yeah, she just has she's not as up to date as like we are, for example. And that's not a knock against her. She just doesn't follow this type of thing. And she has a small kid, so life's busy. But I was telling her about, she didn't know about the bottles of lubrication and that the defense attorney was trying to say it was Costco. And then I said Costco came out with a statement, and she was, oh my God, we had a big laugh at that because Costco was like, you ain't dragging us into this. But and then we talked
That
about the
was
whole
funny.
pink
Yeah.
cocaine angle that is being brought into that. So yeah, we talked about a whole bunch of like stuff, but
Yeah, Costco's way too wholesome to be included in anything like that. They're like
oh
more
God, like
they're all about family and come bring your kids and enjoy the day at Costco. They have with the hot the dollar hot dogs and pizza all that kind of stuff. So they're all
mhm.
about wholesome and family. They're not going to be drug into anything like that. No, not at
No.
all. And they were on it pretty quick.
Mhm.
Whoever their PR person was on it, but they were pretty on it pretty fast. But
I
yeah,
think you were the one that told me about that.
yeah, but they did it pretty quick, man. I'm talking like within hours, pretty
Mhm.
fast, because pretty sure it
Mhm.
went up the chain pretty quick to make the statement. But so yeah,
Yeah.
this week, just real quick, there was more allegations coming forward. One of the allegations was a male stated that just as recent as like a few years ago, not even that long ago, it had happened to him. I forgot what city, but anyway, of course, the normal Diddy thing, and but that he was 17 years old at the time. So that was I think I saw three new cases this week. The appeal judge, remember about the bond? That's
Mm.
the decision will happen next week. I'm not sure what day of the week. Well, I don't know, man. It's a holiday week next week.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising, but that's what I heard. Unless the judge makes the decision before Wednesday, right? I mean, it's a holiday week, so I'll be surprised if it's done next week. But that's what they're supposed to do, is make a decision on whether they're going to bond him or he'll be bonded. So
He will not get bonded.
yeah, well, I'm
No.
just saying, I mean, they still have to make the decision. But,
Yeah. Go through the
and
motion.
that's about it for right now on it. But
James has a comment to you. Yeah, Beckham, all massive heartless corporations are all about family and wholesomeness.
well, I mean, I'm just they made a move pretty fast to say no. It was pretty quick.
Anything associated with Puff Daddy is sinking, and
Yeah,
they
dude,
weren't going
everybody.
to take
Yeah, I
that
mean, people are leaving.
connection.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of. I mean, people are gone from him.
Mm-hmm.
That happened pretty fast. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's what
Capone
made
said,
it. That's what made it funny, that it was so quick.
mm-hmm. Capone asks, wasn't he using his kids to try to intimidate people? There were, from what I heard, one of the reasons why he was also denied bond was back when he was it when he first charged or whatnot? I forget. What is this? Oh, Amber Alert in my area. Yeah, that people from his camp were reaching out to people who have come forward and they were harassing them. And that's one of the things that the judge had used when it came up to see if he could be bonded. And it was like, no, like you can't, you were told to not have contact, and yet your people, like you directed them basically to have contact. So, yeah, so that was that. They did search his cell and seize his legal papers, unconstitutional AF. I'd rather see the Epstein files released. Yeah, this whole, it's just wild. I feel like every week there's something new. I don't think we've talked about for a little bit, just a couple things with P. Diddy. It came out, all of the rules, if that's the right word, of what women had to follow to get into these freak offs,
Oh, I didn't even see that.
into these
Yeah.
into these parties. And it was, you couldn't weigh more than, I think it was 140 pounds, and there was a scale there, so women would have to step on the scale. Yes, it is. The dress had to like be just short enough where like it just covered your butt. The girls had to wear stilettos. You couldn't have anybody with a lot of tattoos, which I'm like, ugh, what's wrong with being covered in tattoos?
No, I mean, I get the other stuff, but the scale, come on.
Beckham, don't go there. You're going to piss off a lot of women. No, it's just,
No, I'm
you
saying
really
I could.
wanted a
No, I
certain
mean,
type of woman there.
time out, dude. We used to have a
I'm
toga
trying to protect
lingerie
you. Don't
party.
do it.
We used to have a toga lingerie party, and in order for you, a boxer, it was BLT, boxer lingerie toga party, right? And
You were
you
in a
had
frat.
you,
That
but you had
always
to,
happens
but
in
you just,
frat.
the only thing, you had to be dressed accordingly to enter, to get in. You couldn't just show up like in jeans and
No,
whatever.
that's
That's
different.
what I'm talking about.
That's
Yeah.
Greek life. I was a part of Greek life
Well,
by
I'm just saying there was a little bit of a dress code. That's all I'm saying, But the scale thing, that's kind of crazy. I don't that's
there's
messed up.
so much to it. There's a whole list of things that
Oh,
women
okay,
had
all
to
right.
do.
I could see where, like, hey, if you're gonna wear like only heels or only white dress or only, I get that part of it, but not like the scale. Come on, dude.
I'm just saying. There's a whole list. Check it out. That was one of the things that was released.
K Dog says you have to have standards. Holy crap.
K Dog. That's bad. Did you hear oh god, what was it? Is it an upcoming documentary or something? But Ray J commented. Like, I heard the interview with Ray J. I heard it through a podcast I listened to. They got a clip of it, and he's like, "Yeah, people have confided in me. I've said too much. I've already said too much." It was very interesting. I'm like, Ray J. How did Ray J
I
get?
have a question for you. To say you're some sort of, maybe you worked for somebody in the as a publicist or something like that, right? And you're like, at the time, it was a cool thing to get into a Diddy party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're excited. You're excited about going, and it's gonna be fun, that type of thing. And you have this energy, and you're gonna go, and you go, and you do have fun. It's at the beginning of it, everybody's having a good time, that type of thing. And for some reason, you stay a little longer than usual, and you're like walking around the place, and you happen to see some stuff, but you don't really. At that time, you're like, it's a party, things happen. But now, looking back, you start remembering things, right? You're now a little older. You're like, man, 15, 20 years ago, I was doing this. I was working for somebody, whatever. I remember going, you went to a party and you were having fun and you saw some stuff. And then now you're remembering because, you do forget some things, right? I mean, I'm remembering stuff even. I'm like, oh, yeah, we did that or we did that, now, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
you start to remember some stuff, but it's still a little, you know, would you tell anybody about what you might have seen, or would you just be like, I'm out? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even messing with it. I think that's what's happened to a lot of people that are not super famous,
Mm.
where there's subsidies, kind of with who they might have worked for. Maybe it was a marketing company, or maybe it was some, like I said, a publicist or an assistant to a publicist or something like that. And like I said, you were younger, you were getting into the business type of thing, and you went to a party to have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it started off really fun and great. Everybody's having a good time and everything's normal. But then the lights start to dim, right? The lights start to dim, and then people start to go into the different avenues within the party. Within the party, these parties are supposedly so big that once the dims light, the color of the lights turn a different color, mood change lights, and it just different things started happening in different areas, different avenues within the party. You might have been walking around and you saw some stuff, right? And I'm not talking about like necessarily just crazy,
I
but
know what
just
you mean.
something odd. And you're like, okay, well, whatever, it happens. It's LA or it's Atlanta or Vegas, whatever, right? And you just go about your life, and then now you're in a different, you're older, and now this whole thing has just come forward, and now you're remembering, oh, that time in 2006 or 2007 or whatever, right? And you're just like, holy crap, what did I
All
do?
right,
What did
I'll
I
answer
really
that.
witness? Like, what would you like? I mean, what would you do? Because I guarantee you, there is a ton of people in that same spot right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ton of people out there that
Mm-hmm.
have left that career or are now parents or have gone on and do other normal. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
out of that whole realm of Hollywood, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, there's a ton of people that saw something
And
at
I'm
one
sure there's,
time.
yeah, I think there's a few paths to that to answer your question. I think that I think some people might have seen some things, but not realized exactly what they saw.
Yeah, right,
But
exactly.
now things are starting to
You're older,
click,
you're a
and
little
they're
bit
able to
older.
look back and go,
Yeah,
that's what I saw.
yeah.
I think there are people that saw what they saw and knew what they were seeing and have kept
Mm,
quiet. One, because they didn't want to be associated with this, or two, because it's one of those, I just don't want to get involved, and I don't want to be thought of as being complicit or a part of this. Is it a crime for them not to stop it? No. But ultimately, those people who knew what they were witnessing, let it happen. I think that also, and this goes with a lot of the lawsuits that we've been hearing,
mhm.
is people were threatened. You know,
Yeah,
Puff Daddy
yeah,
was in a
yeah.
big position of power. He had people who were in big positions of power. No, it's one thing to, we're hearing the
Well, we
threat
already
of,
broke
I
that
can,
down with the whole
well, destroy
Tupac.
your career.
We broke that down with the Tupac thing. That
Yes.
yeah, I mean
And
yeah, he
that's
had.
who people were dealing with. It's one thing, if someone says, I'm going to destroy your career, there are
Oh
some
yeah,
people
that's
that will
oh
say,
yeah.
fine. and walk away. There's some people that don't want that. But there was also people being threatened on a physical level, people who were threatened financial, like every avenue to hold this over you. Like now we're like, so now they're wrapped up in this too when they never wanted that. So I think there's so many levels to this.
And your
But
it's a thing about perception too, Danny. We can get too deep into that realm, but your perception,
hey, Dan.
things are different when you're like 28, 29, 30 to when you're like 40s, right? It's a whole, you're going to look at things completely different. And I think for so many people that attended these things, their levels of perception, of course, were completely different then than they are now. And some of them saw minimal things. Some of them saw more than others, right? And that's where I come with the word perception, because it can be that one word in this situation for this case means a lot. The word perception really means a lot. That there's many factors that go along with that in dealing with this case.
That's an excellent point, Beckham. Oh my God, I just gave you a compliment. I think I'm getting sick. So no, that's the really good point, because I want to add to that. I mean, this is nothing. Hollywood parties, LA parties are nothing new. We can go back to the Tate House in regards to parties. We can go back to we've talked about the
before
Playboy
that.
Mansion.
Oh yeah, before that. I mean, yeah.
We talked about the Playboy Mansion with parties, just celebrities in Hollywood parties. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of alcohol. There's a lot.
It's bad. I mean, you hear about it. People come and some of them don't leave, or some of them leave in body bags. Not in a bad sense. They get eaten up, but by what Hollywood is, right, or can be, right, drug use or this or that or whatever, right? Yeah, it eats out people and spits them out, or some people come and leave. It doesn't, they got away, or they got away from it all, that type of thing. Yeah.
But I could see how somebody who's maybe is more naive, if they're just a newcomer celebrity, and they get invited to a Diddy party, and they're thinking, this is my chance, and they're naive. They don't know how these parties work. Or somebody who just,
you want to impress, you want to be impressed,
right. Or someone who happened to see something and just could have easily thought, oh, they drank too much, or oh, they're on drugs and that's why they pass out. There's a million and one reasons why someone again, there were people who knew what was going on, and we're not
right. No, I'm talking about it. That's why I tried to set it up as, hey, you're like a young, assistant to a publicist. You're away from the main sector.
Yeah.
You're on the kind of on the side, you know what I mean? And you're young, you're like what, 20, you're like 25 to 30, you're young and you get invited, you're like, oh my God, it's a Diddy, right? And back then, or even just few years ago, when a lot of these celebs were younger, it was a big deal to be invited to one of these parties. It was a huge deal to get invited. And I mean, I can only imagine being like late 20s, early 30s. You have that energy, and
or younger,
or young. Well, I'm just saying. I'm talking about. You're not an actor or nothing. You're just like a part of a marketing firm or something, right? And you get invited to it, and you're not an actor or singer, but you're just part of you're invited. You made the list to get in, right? And you're excited, man. You're gonna get invited. You don't get invited to many of these things. You're like I said, you're not an actor or singer, but you're part of like I said, a marketing firm or somebody, or somebody, and they're gonna get you in or something like that, right? And then you see something, but again, you don't really know it. Again, perception, right? And then now you're in your 40s and you're looking back. And you're like, wow, you're remembering stuff, right? Oh my God, what did I see?
Yeah.
Did I really see that? It's going to make you think. And I guarantee there's a lot of people that were in that same position that I just described.
Oh,
you're not
I'm
an actor. You're not a singer. You're just part of you made the list somehow, right?
Or even if there might be celebrities boys there that genuinely didn't know what was
Right.
going
Yeah.
on. So
Well,
they
yeah,
can
but
be lumped in
yeah.
that too. And they might just see several people. Oh, they look at them. They drank too much. Oh, look, drugs. Oh, they must have done some drugs or whatnot. But now I can like from what you're saying, looking back, they might be questioning, wait a minute, some of those situations where those people were passed out by the end of the night, could it have been that they were drugged? You know what I mean? I've been to, like, in college, I went to so many frat parties, and it was just because that's just Greek life. And I can't tell you how many frat brothers that I knew were, like, be passed out on the living room floor from drinking too much, or on the, like, I never once thought, oh, maybe they've been drugged. It's, oh yeah, they drank too much. Or if there was a brother known for doing some drugs, it's like, oh, maybe they did a little, like, you know what I mean? You don't
Again, it's
jump
perception. You
to,
don't.
oh
Right.
my God, they were
Right.
probably drugged for
Right.
this
No. No.
reason. Your
Right.
mind
Right.
doesn't go there.
Right. No. Hey, to James's point, my aunt was really good friends, and my uncle. My uncle met um Rick James in the 70s when he went to LA from Chicago to make it in LA. And they were really good friends with Rick James. I was supposed to meet Rick James in 2004. I was excited, and he overdosed a month before I was supposed to go and meet him and get to hang out with him. And that was, I remember watching Rick James as a little kid on MTV, and just to have met. I know just how crazy he was and whatever, right? But it would have been like so awesome to just like meet him and just hang out for even 15 minutes or I don't know, so something, right? But anyway, yeah. So, and I've always, now I know the reality of Playboy. I thought Playboy growing up or going into college and all that, I thought it was like this sophisticated entity that was Playboy because that's what you were told it was,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was a sophisticated entity. But now, finally, you learn the truth about what was really going on in Playboy. It's like, wow, it's really a letdown. But I thought it would be cool when I was younger if I could have made it into the Playboy Mansion and hang it to to party. That would have been so badass.
Beckham at the Playboy Mansion.
I would have been
Oh
like
my
I'd been
God.
nuts. I would have been crazy. I don't know what to do.
I'll let that one go. I could see you being like, hey, babe, hey, like, hey, darling, get me a cup of coffee and let's go to the grotto. But that's what me and my hair. Okay, me and my hairdresser. We were talking about that too today. You just reminded me because we mentioned that we both watched growing up. Do you remember on E? It was the show The Girls Next Door. It was like Holly, Madison,
Oh
Kendra,
yeah, you see,
Bridget.
I remember that show. I didn't watch it. I
Mhm.
just remember flipping through back in the day.
Yeah, I
And
used to.
it would just be like, oh, look at that. They're having, well, that's his
Yeah,
girlfriends or whatever. They're having a good time. I would just flip through it, right? You might watch
and
10
then
minutes of it or
years
whatever.
later,
Yeah.
we learn
Yes.
their real experiences behind the camera
They
and what they
hated
went
it.
through
Yeah,
there.
it was just like they were in this like environment that they wanted to get out and they signed contracts or whatever and they couldn't and they were getting paid. I
Mhm.
totally get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? There were signed contracts and they were getting paid, so they couldn't just walk out. And
Mhm.
I don't think Hefner would have had them killed or anything, but their careers would have been completely changed, right? If they would have just walked away, but they didn't walk away. But
No.
so yeah. But
And
they
then we
felt
hear,
imprisoned. They were that whole time that you're talking about. Yeah, through the show, it seems so cool and so. Oh, look at that! It's Playboy and the girls, and they're like they get to do what they want. They get to shop where they want. They get to buy what they want, whatever. But yet they were so now later they were so tormented and they just felt enclosed and they just felt imprisoned. That's what they felt like.
but it's not only them, it was like so many other women, and we heard
Right. Well,
all
yeah, of
about it on
course.
the
Yeah.
Playboy,
Sure,
like, Hugh
sure.
Hefner thing, and then we learned how
Yeah.
much of a bad person he was.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
Paulcast is here. Hi, Paul. Paul, do you like my shirt? I was inspired by the movie Tron. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Is that the one with, no, that was Jessica Smith with Nick Lachey on MTV. Look at Danny's shirt, Paul. James Watson, screw you. Paulcast and that. Yeah, look at that. Paulcast comes on. Paul, you should. Paul was late to the chat because he was too busy ordering a Danny After Dark mug on the merch store, which I'm sure he should.
He said, "Did you raid the set of Tron?" Now, did he say that before James put it out there?
No, James put the
okay.
comments, and then Paul followed up with that. You guys.
That's what I said, Paul. Well, I didn't say the exact thing, but I kind of said the same thing when I literally came on.
Everybody said that. James Watson was the first one to be like, Danny, what are you wearing? Anyway, so that's kind of all we got for y'all for this week. So, yep, Capone, that was Capone said Tetris. What is the other one? Capone, what's the other one?
Oh, it was a puzzle or something.
Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah.
How it's like a maze.
Thank God it doesn't have the dots. It would look Pac-Man-ish. You're better off just saying Tron. I'm feeling Tron tonight.
Feeling Tron. Oh man, I'd be worried the bad Tony would be trying to solve the maze. God.
Jesus.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, right. Tetris was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what about like Donkey Kong? Remember?
I wasn't an arcade person.
Oh, never mind.
Look at that. It does look like Pac-Man. Oh God. Oh, quickly. Oh my gosh. I didn't want to forget somebody way earlier in the show. It was Capone or K-Dog that said about
it does look like Pac-Man.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, that she's pregnant and expecting.
Oh yeah.
And she's made comments about like,
wait a minute, time out. What's her name again?
Gypsy Rose.
Okay, Gypsy Rose. I just hit me. Her case is kind of similar to the Menendez brothers. No.
She was.
Wasn't she abused too?
Yeah, that was Munchausen that was her mom, Munchausen. Right. Like she was. Yeah, I consider that very different. And there was no sexual abuse.
I'm just saying. Yeah, okay. I was just kind of okay.
I get what you're in regards to killing a parent.
Yeah, because they were abused. That's why.
But she also didn't kill her mom. She had her boyfriend do it.
That's right. My bad. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. She didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, no, she's pregnant now and expecting her first child. And she's been making comments about how like she kind of wishing her mom was with her for this, which is kind of, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird because it's like, think of what your mom would have done to your child, but also you wouldn't. It's just, yeah, that's just it's crazy. But ultimately, I'm happy that Gypsy has found happiness and can be the type of mother she wants to be versus the one that she had ultimately.
Danny, I'm surprised you're not talking about a certain event on today's date.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what 1122 stands for?
No, I don't.
Really, Danny?
No, I really don't.
What happened in Dallas in 11/22/63?
JFK?
Come on, yes. Today is the JFK assassination anniversary.
Okay, thank you, Data X Machina. Okay.
There should have been a whole just show on JFK tonight.
Well, you know what? Maybe if you arrived on time,
we could have done that. No, I'm just messing with you. No.
Paul, I will block you. No, I won't.
Paul actually used the FFS.
Oh, K-Dog. Yeah, I don't know what Paul's thoughts on it. Fleetwood Mac went on tour after they fired Lindsay, and I wouldn't go. And I wanted to go so bad. But I'm more team Lindsey Buckingham than Stevie Nicks. Gotta say. Lindsey Buckingham, if he toured and came to the area, I would go. But there will be no more Fleetwood Mac because Christine McVie's gone and they fired Lindsey. Come on. Anyway. Hot take, Danny. Oh, Allison, you went. Oh, Allison, my co-host Paul over on the Paulcast, he loves Fleetwood Mac. Like, don't let him fool you in the chat. He loves Fleetwood Mac.
Hot take, Danny. 11:22.
What is Paul bitching? What did the world never recover from, Danny? Jesus. Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't put 2 and 2 together on the date. Well, thank you for reminding us back on that. This is the anniversary. How many years ago was that? That was what?
1963, whatever it is.
That's 62 years, I believe.
Hold on, let me get a calculator. It's too late for me.
You're an hour behind me. Knock it off.
You're always in the
Your
future.
Christmas tree over there in the
You're
background.
always in the future, remember?
50. Okay, data set X Machina
61
says
years. 59 years. That's hold on.
That doesn't make sense.
2024 minus 1963. 61 years.
No, that does.
61. You were almost right. He's like, 61.
I went to
It's
school
all
for
good.
psychology, not math. So sorry. Look at James. That is horrible. Do you see that, Beckham?
What? Yeah, I know. That was funny. That kind of gets comment of the night. Actually, that's pretty good.
You know what? On that note.
Yeah, that was a good one. He resigned on that date.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for True Crime and Chill. Thank you for tuning in to Danny After Dark. Camp Elasticity Productions, hello. We are literally just leaving. So everybody enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you next week with another episode. And then later, we'll have to figure out later next week, Beckham, because it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend. So we'll have to.
Well, I might not even be in town. I'm not sure. Unless you want to move it to. No, because Saturday I'll be watching football.
We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just have to do it soon. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with everybody. Either way, everybody have a good week. I'll see you early next week with an episode. Remember, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone. And thank you, Beckham.